I'm Kanye, aka Keo'S, and today I am giving you 7 tips on how to survive or better your high school experience, because we all know that high school can be a serious struggle. Okay, so the first thing when it comes to high school is you have to pick the right friends. Okay, and I feel like some people might say it's obvious, but I do have to mention it because it's very important. Your friends influence the person you turn out to be after high school. They influence your environment, they influence how the teachers treat you, they influence the amount of chances you get, because people tend to judge you by your friends, teachers judge you by your friends, and energies are contagious. So you should look for people that make you comfortable with being yourself, that don't make you feel restricted, right? And people who encourage you when something is good for you and when something is going to benefit you. But at the same time, people who will tell you, like, Kanye, that's not going to turn out well for you. You know, my friends will be able to tell me when I'm wrong and when I'm right. So definitely make sure you find people that will be able to do that for you. The second thing when it comes to high school is something that is a bit hard, right? It's something that none of us like. I don't like it at all myself, but it's something that you definitely should do, and that is listening to your parents, right? Now, I don't listen to everything my parents tell me to do. I don't tell them everything I do, right? Nobody does that, right? But listening to your parents is very important. I think sometimes we take it very lightly when our parents say to us, I've been through this, I've done it, because we're like, oh, that was so many years ago and it's a different generation and things are different now. But the bottom line is, it's education. Like, they went through kind of the same things, you know. We're not the first people to come to high school, so they've been through it, they've done it. So when they give you advice and when they tell you something, you should often try and listen to them and execute what they're telling you to do. Like, for example, when I feel overwhelmed and I suddenly have like a whole meltdown, right? And my parents are like, what's wrong? You know, what's going on? And I'm like, I feel so overwhelmed and everything's just moving too fast and things like that. They'll be like, listen, calm down. First of all, you're doing way too many sports or way too many activities. You need to drop this. You spend way too much time on your phone. You know, put it away. When you get home, take it back an hour before you go to bed or something like that. And we tend to not want to listen to things like that when our parents tell us to do those things, but they definitely help. And I think I really don't like it when my parents give me advice, right? And you're just like, oh, these people, you know. And most of the time it's because we know that they're right. That's why we can't actually take it to heart. Most of the time it's not because of them giving me the wrong advice or them not understanding. It's because they understand too well. That's usually what the case is. So definitely listen to your parents. They know more than you do. Third thing when it comes to high school, right? And this is kind of a big one especially when it comes to girls, amongst guys too, but especially when it comes to girls, is don't compete with people. You know, don't compete with people because it gets you nowhere. You're focusing way too much on other people instead of focusing on yourself, right? Whether it's about relationships, fashion, boyfriends, academics, I don't know, just don't compete with people. It's a waste of time. First of all, you spend so much time focusing on other people when you should be focusing on yourself, right? You are looking at your flaws through the eyes of someone else, right? And instead of looking at your flaws through your eyes, it's like looking at something through a filter. You don't actually see what's there. You're seeing partially what's there, which actually doesn't help anyone. You know, you just become more depressed and you just drop your self-confidence way more. And in terms of competing academically, you actually kind of lowering your standards. Reason being, because you are now like, okay, as long as I beat this person, it's fine. You know, as long as I beat this person. But you don't know what that person's standards are. Sometimes you never know. That person, as long as they pass, they're happy. They just by like get an extra 30% to get an 80, and you just want to beat them. Meantime, you're actually lowering your standards because you don't actually know what that person's standards are, right? Because you're competing with them and you're like, as long as I beat them, they really don't care whether you beat them or not, and they just want to pass. You don't know what's going on inside their head. They could tell you one thing and in their head something else is going on, you know. And now you're just aiming to beat this person when you should be aiming to do and perform your best. You're actually just by competing with people, you're actually just not reaching your full potential instead, right? It doesn't really get you anywhere. The fourth thing, asking for help. And that's something that many people don't do. They just don't do it because it's not easy. It's not something that's easy, asking for help, but it's something that you should do. And asking for help from people like your teachers or your parents, you know, whoever can help you. Because when you're struggling and you just keep quiet and you sit and you do nothing about it, at the end of the day, when the results come back, you can't, what are you gonna say? They're gonna say, okay, you knew you didn't understand, what did you do about it? Whereas if you're like, okay, I can see I don't understand a single thing that's going on here, you stay after the lesson and you say, ma'am, sir, sorry, I don't understand what's going on here. Or you're like, mom, can I please take me to extra lessons, or you know, things like that. But if you just sit and you do nothing about it, at the end of the day, when they're like, okay, you knew you didn't understand, what did you do about it? There's nothing you can say. There's no excuses, because if you were struggling, you should do something about it. At the end of the day, those people are there to help you, right? As scary as they seem, that is what they are there for. So use what you have, you know? Okay, the fifth thing when it comes to high school is, this is like, but it's something, it seems like an obvious thing, but we all put ourselves in the situation where we don't value sleep. We spend so much time on like social media platforms or watching whatever programs, and you know, instead of like with that time you could be using to, you know, I don't know, be busy with your books. And I'm not saying, you know, you should be busy with your books and you shouldn't have time for those things. Those are things you should have time for. But there are times when you know that you're not supposed to be doing that. There are times when you guys know you're not supposed to be doing that, and yet you carry on doing it. And that's when you land up in situations where you feel overwhelmed and you're struggling, right? So you should value time. You should value your time, learn to manage your time effectively, and you should definitely value your sleep. If you have an opportunity to sleep early, you take it. If you have an opportunity to wake up early, you take it, because that's what leads to success in a way. You know, that's what leads you to feel less overwhelmed. And also studying, lots of people have asked me what's my study method. Lots of YouTubers have also suggested the study method, right? And that is, I've done it for such a long time. It's like pretending to teach a class. So pretend that you are the teacher and pretend that you are teaching the class. That's generally how I study, although it does depend on the subject, because some subjects differ and you can't actually, you know, gain all the knowledge you need for a test the next day just by teaching an imaginary class. So yeah. Number 6, right, that is to believe in yourself. This is super important. I think it's like probably the most important thing on this list is to believe in yourself, right? In high school, if you don't believe in yourself, people will break you. Let me tell you that now, because if you don't believe in yourself, right, you land up believing in what people think about you and what people tell you about you. You know, people can tell you what you can do. Meantime, if you did believe in yourself, you would easily be able to say, no, that's not me, right? You land up believing things that you hear about yourself that aren't even true, right? Because you don't know yourself. So you have to know yourself, believe in yourself. Okay, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to. And number 7 is to have fun. How to survive high school. There's no specific, you know, there's no specific tools or things. Everybody has their own struggle. That's one thing you must remember. Everybody is struggling with their own things. As much as a person's life may seem nicer or easier to you, they have their own struggles that they are going through that you don't know about. And so you must remember to have fun and participate in, personally I think you should participate in any extramural cultural activities, whatever you're into, as much as you can that involves the school, because those are the things that you're going to remember and that you're going to miss. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope it helped a lot for those of you who are in high school and just really want to better your experience, or for those of you who are starting high school, don't stress. You know, you're not the first people to go to high school. You will have fun. There will be tough times, there will be lots of tears, but there will also be a lot of fun and memories to make up for it. Great. So please share, like, and please definitely subscribe. And thank you for watching. And comment down below if you have any other tips that you think maybe I didn't mention in the video, or if you have any other questions. And bye.